सबको मेरा नमस्कार. This is FIDE Senior Trainer Sekhar Sahu welcomes you on behalf of Sports Authority of Gujarat and Gujarat State Chess Session to this intermediate training session. I will cover off some night endings, and apart from discussion of classic games, I would like to also cover an opening variation on Scandinavian center counter. Now this particular position, white has an extra pawn. So white should plan to win, but the main obstacle, the knight is watching the square. So you cannot push, you will take it and draw. So we need to find a way how we can dislodge the knight. How we can dislodge? I mean, you have a plan. You can dislodge the knight by attacking the knight here, or even these positions. Any of the square. You can attack the knight on any of the square. So how do we reach that? It should be more effective. I want you to think for 1 or 2 minutes. 2 minutes, then we discuss. I hope it is okay. Not going live. Not going live. Yeah, it is okay. Okay. So good morning, everybody. So please find out knight c2. No, not the correct move. Divan, not the correct move. You know, you want to come here directly. It is not going to work. Check will come. He wants to give checks. So your knight should come closer to the area. I mean, knight f5. This is the move. No, knight coming to, sorry, what you call f5. Why I don't want to allow a check. If you come knight c2, with the idea, your plan is to attack the knight. You want to attack the knight. But a check will come. It's a draw. It's a draw. Now you come here. Now again he will attack. No. I think uh, I think I am making a mistake now. In this case, what can I do here? What can I do here? I think I should go here now. Knight, and you push, the knight will come. Now you come here. I want to play the king move. You come here, then I will play knight here. You come here, the knight here. You take, and I go to the dark square. Whichever color the knight is, I should go to the same color. Dark. Draw. So it is important you go other way. Don't allow the check. Don't allow the check. Play knight. And then he has no check. He has to wait with the king only. Knight cannot move. The knight moves, the pawn is pushing and queening. Only move. Waiting. Now attack. You cannot take with the king. The king pawn ending is lost. You cannot take with the knight. The pawn will promote. So the only move. Idea, if you push the pawn, I will give a check and take it. So I go. Now he is in zugzwang. Now black has no good move. Now no check position, and the pawn is going smoothly, cannot stop. So actually you have to find such maneuver. This is important. The king cannot take, knight cannot take, the king cannot come. So I show you a similar example. I will show you some similar example. The same thing here. I go knight and same in d4. You give knight here, then I go attack, and you go king and zugzwang. Little different, the same theme, but pawn is backward. So same theme I will play. Right? Stopping the check. The immediate plan is giving a check and draw. So I will stop. Now king here. Again the same maneuver. Knight coming to d3. Neither king cannot take, and even knight into is lost because after you take, I push the pawn. Then I am just going in two moves. So he cannot do anything. You come here, it is push. You come here, it is lost. You can't stop. So the same maneuver happens even pawn on 5th rank, I can do that. Winning the game. Push. Only move. Attack. The only move. What else? If you play king here, the knight check and I will win the game. So the only move will come here. Only move. And now I go and now I want to stop the pawn push. If I push the pawn right away, there is a knight check. Suppose here I come, he attacks. Now if you see this is a bad move, knight check is coming. So I want to cover this with my knight and then push the pawn. So I give knight. Now my simple threat is to push the pawn. So black has only one move. He must stop only move, otherwise it is lost. Only move. But then I attack. He cannot take my knight. Just attack. Finish. He is lost. Check. Now you have no other choice. The pawn is going queen. And this is not working now. Why this will not work is what I will do here. I will attack the knight. If you give a check, the king here and the pawn is unstoppable. So it is not working now. So he plays knight, but then I attack. Only move knight coming here, knight into knight and winning the game. So these are typical moves. When there is a rook pawn, these possibilities are there. So I showed you 3-4 diagrams on the same topic. I will now change it now. This is different. I can't do that. So here the plan is to come and again Jujwa. Now I make progress. Attack, attack. You cannot return. If you return, the knight is trapped. The king will come here and knight is trapped. So he is forced to go to this side, pawn push. The pawn is for sailing through. Now we have got the already a diagram in already we have seen this kind of diagram. We know how to win this. Attack and now the pawn will progress. The only move. Again move. If you give a check here, it is harmless. You give a check, then I will come here. And now, no, not here. Again, you will repeat. I will come over here. No check position and the pawn is going. No check position. So, by seeing these moves, I hope you understand the maneuver. Okay. This is little bit tough, but you can find it. Only move. Now attack. Only move. Attack. And now I get it. The pawn will make one by one. He will come here and don't push the pawn hurriedly. In endgame, patience is required. If you push knight check is draw. Knight check and you will take the pawn. So you have to play with lot of patience and waiting. Now he must go and stop the pawn. Only move. Check. Attack. Again he has to check only move. There is no square. Attack. Again the only move. Knight a7 is losing the knight. Only. And now I push. Slowly. He comes. Again the process will repeat. Now the check. I mean here wait. Attack the knight. You cannot exchange only move. You can't push the pawn. Again hasty move draw. Knight check will come. So again you attack. Attack again. And now push. Again you cannot push. You have to always watch check. So once again I attack. And winning. Now I will go. I am going to push the pawn. A knight cannot come here. Lost. I want to give you some time to think what to play. Okay. So good morning everybody. I hope you understand the maneuver. I hope you understand the knight maneuvering. How should white play this game? We have got one extra pawn. How should we win? It is very clear. You have got two pass pawns, the knight and the pawn is blocked. Your king should hurry up. Your king should hurry up to center, unable to push, and this threat will keep the king busy. So you should hurry up with the king, knight also. Anything that helps to push the pawn. I want to push the pawn. Push. Now hurry up with the king. King. Now is the problem how to make further progress. Okay, you can come here. You can come to this point. But in this case, knight check, and I exchange the knight and king pawn endgame. You take, I take, and he's in zugzwang. So you cannot come to king g6. So he has to play knight. In this case, I attack only move. If you go further like this, if you go like this, what I can do, I can play knight here. Now I am controlling all this area. The king comes here. I will start pushing this pawn. Now all this area are covered. And you return. Now I can make progress. For example, the pawn is protected now. He cannot come and take. I will make move and I will approach the knight. I will now come here and slowly I will make progress. This is not a threat because the pawn is in rush. You can't take the knight. I am not worried. Maybe I will come. Maybe here. Here what I will do. I will do a waiting because here there is a possibility of a check and take coming. So I don't want to win a check. I will come. You are welcome to take my knight. Now you return, I will come now. Now, if you attack, I am going to play. Maybe here, I think this push is enough because when you take, I push, and when you check, I come, and you come here, the pawn is taken. So, I hope you understand the distant pass pawn, the idea. So, here in this game, the game continued. King, and pawn push, attack. Now I attack, support, or push. Now push. Now you have no time to take. I will just push, and the pawn cannot be stopped. So you have to stop the pawn. In this case, the knight. And king cannot take the knight. The pawn will queen. And the king is very much in control of the pawn in the square. Lost. Now zugzwang. Suppose you come here. Let us say you come. So I will come here. You come here. I will come. You come here. I approach the pawn. You come here. The pawn push. So you cannot defend. The pawn is lost. And next I take the pawn and I will enter. So friends, I hope you understand the idea how to convert this kind of end game. Okay. Go to a next different type of end game. Next. Hmm. What happens? This is black to play. Black to play. Black has an extra pawn and has an advantage. Let me flip the board. You think for a moment. Now black pawn is this side, this side. Black pawn is going here, here, and white pawn is going here. So how should black play now? I want to give you 3 minutes. How Anatoly Karpov, the ex-world champion, played for black. Please think, black to play now and win. Think for 2 minutes. Okay, I hope you got some idea. Nobody has written. Please write something. Anybody has written a move? This is a correct move. Correct move. No time to take. The pawn will queen. So he stops with the king. But then what about the king into pawn? Winning the endgame. You cannot take knight into pawn. Now you cannot take knight into pawn. The pawn ending will come. Check. And the pawn ending is winning. The king is the square of the pawn. The black king is square of the pawn. Pawn push does not help. And if you attack this pawn push, you take, I think, he is out of the square. Now this is the square. He cannot reach the square. Lost. So you need to know quickly. You have to visualize the rule of square quickly. So king pawn ending cannot be played. So this enabled king into pawn. Now knight into pawn is not possible. Knight check and king pawn ending. So only move. I attack. Simple. Now king. It takes the pawn, but now I will win this. Idea. I want to queen and collect the knight. The knight can easily stop. The only move. Now I stop the pawn. And my approach is to bring the king and collect this winning attack. And the king pawn ending is winning. Knight and pawn ending is winning easily. Take and this is easy now. Very easy. King and zugzwang. King will come. He will run into zugzwang. Oh no no! I have made a mistake here. Not this move. You play this move. Now all are covered. All are covered. This should win. Even this is covered. So by that time it's just pushing the pawn and winning. Okay. So I go to the next one. This is Pomar versus Anderson. So three pawn versus two pawn. So black to play. Black played the obvious move. Attacking knight. Now here. Now attacking. How should black play now? Take your time. Please make a plan and write. How to play. Anderson was a great endgame player. Wolf Anderson. So he played king. Idea. I want to bring the king and then push. So he has to play knight. And you cannot play king. Knight into pawn check will come. So you have to play only move. But then knight check and winning the game. He will give a check, no problem. This ending is boxed. Now if you push the pawn, take, and now there is a control. So the king cannot come. Meaning the knight can always stop the pawn. Winning that. This is a bit tricky. Black has an extra pawn. So how to convert a small advantage? The queen side pawn majority is there. Please find a plan. I'm giving you 2 minutes time. These are from actual practical games. So you will learn the technique. The first move is obvious. First move I make it white to play first. Now white plays this. How to handle this? I recommend to all the students that they should study the games of. There are certain grandmasters. They were not world champion, but great players. That Wolf Anderson, number one. Kiva Rubinstein, number two. Paul Keres, Victor Korchnoi. These were not world champion, but great endgame player. Rafael Bagani, extremely strong in endgame. Now this position, the king cannot enter. All these areas are covered. So the king has no entry to attack the black pawns. So now black plays attack, king pawn end. You have nothing. Next move, if you move the knight king into pawn, I will. If you save the knight somewhere, I will take the pawn and the pawn will just rush. Only move. Now takes only move. The point is the white black has to take. It appears yes move like a king into pawn, and then queen. You know, but what is the difference? We have five moves. One, two, and three, five moves. And black has five moves. But the king will be here when the queening square, diagonal. This is the point. Grandmaster Anderson has already seen. उन्होंने पहले से ही देख लिया. The king वहीं रहेगा और pawn queen check वहां होगा. अभी दोनों का पांच मूव है. मेरे पास पांच मूव, आपके पास पांच मूव. So black to play wins because king will be in the wrong diagonal. Okay, you need not take. Then how will you create a pass pawn? पासपान के लिए ये बहुत स्लो है तो ये करना ही पड़ेगा. नो पुश पुश एंड चेक विनिंग दैट. Knight and pawn or any kind of endgame, always you have to see check the king pawn endgame possibility. This is Baburin, is a strong grandmaster, and white to play. White seems to be in difficulty because the king is far away. This is the scene of action. This is under attack. There's a pawn, and the king is there. But still, the game is not lost. The correct play, white can save the game. It looks white is lost because all are in the scene of action. The pawn is under attack, and if you push the pawn, knight is coming. So find out how white can save the game. White can save the game. Then logically speaking, if white manages to take the pawn, draw, or white king should hurry up as fast as possible to this quickly. These are the two things in mind. So white starts with pawn push. You have to because pawn you don't give you lose him time. He has to come. Now he has to take. The point is black has to come take one move. Then he has to take one. He has to remove the knight and three moves. Five moves to queen. So king, king. Not knight and knight will lose the king pawn end. So I bring the king. And if you take the knight, the king will reach the corner in time. If you take it, it is easy draw. Easy draw. Very simple. I am in the square and draw. So it will not work. So he plays knight. Then for the moment I stop the pawn. So he has to move the king. Now not this bad move. You see, here why I have selected this, the player must not be careless. You have a choice. Hurriedly, 90% youngsters will go here. Now this is bad because you will come and you will run into zugzwang. No knight move, no king move, no knight move, only move king. And now zugzwang. After this zugzwang, lost. So game draw in hand, but after the careless move, this is wrong and you lose again. Mechanically you should not play the correct move, king. And now it will draw. I will not go to the square. I will not go to the square. So I'll wait. And now the position, it is white to play, white is zugzwang, but now it is black to play. Now it is black to play. So black has no good move. You come here, I will take the knight. King pawn end game. Knight into knight is a draw here. And now if you any other move, knight check is coming and return. So it is a very instructive game. Here, up till now a player will play. This is the point a player will make mistake. So the correct move to draw is this, wrong move and loses. Draw. Anybody wrote this? Anybody wrote the plan? Okay, no, it is just a very move. You have not given any plan here. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Next game. Augustine. Okay. Now it is white to play. The pawn is queening here. No, 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 no. The pawn is queening here. This pawn. And this pawn is coming here. So what about this one? This position, I want an evaluation. White to play, what happens? Just a minute. Call. Okay. So please find a plan. It is not that easy. I hope if somebody has written something. No, I give you time. I give you time. I don't want to rush. Please think. I hope you find a plan. I'm not rushing you because in tournament, if I tell you do not learn, you have to think right at least three moves: white, black, white. Then only I will proceed. Somebody has come up. I hope. I waited long. You have not got the thread of the position. The grandmaster played here king. Somebody wrote king to c5. I think somebody wrote. Who has written king c5? Uttam Dugal has written king c5. Correct move. Now he comes push. Now is the time I want to stop the pawn. I want to stop the pawn. Now black cannot stop the pawn. White pawn is far away. So it is important that you have to see the threat because the threat is to come here and after that he will queen. So you need to notice the threat. Now this is safe. And when he attacks, I will play knight to f1 and winning the game. Winning. Now the pawn's unstoppable. So you have to find somebody. Uttam Dugal found its correct plan. This is the one wins the game. Very well. Congratulations, Uttam. Now this position, these are tricky. That normally two knights are drawn. Normal. But here the pawns are far away. I mean, you have to watch this pawn. You have to watch this pawn. So knight is a bad defender against rook pawn. In normal situation, it is an easy draw. But in this typical position, white finds correct plan. The threat is to push the pawn. So he has to come here. Otherwise, I am pushing. He has to do something. And now this suddenly this knight after taking it will stranded. Stranded यानी कि वो फंस जाएगा. अभी वो मारना पड़ेगा. ये pawn आ रहा है, queen हो रहा है, तो उसको मारना ही पड़ेगा. And now this knight has no good square. I mean, these squares are gone. This knight is bad. These squares are gone, and this knight has to come. He cannot chase. If you play other move, knight here does not. Why push the b7 and winning? The only move. Idea. Idea. I want to. If you take, the knight will enter and give check. So this is correct move. Idea. You can't push the pawn now because knight check will come. But This is the one. The knight will be trapped. Ultimately, you will take the pawn, but the knight is trapped after the pawn moves to b4. After the pawn controlling, and the standard ये गया, अभी फंस गया, कुछ नहीं कर सकता. ये किंग इतना दूर है कि he cannot approach the pawn. यही विन है, winning. So basically, these are not practical positions. This is a composition, but only giving an idea how you can handle. You have to find flaw in opponent's variation calculation. आपको उसमें से कौन सा कमी है? What are the defect? Next, this is win. Why it is win? Because the knight can always support when the king cannot approach the knight, and you cannot do n% easily. So here, white plays king. He attacks support. Neither you can push nor you can approach the knight. So it is lost. Lost. Now I will just improve the knight. In any position, middle game, end game, opening, you have to keep improving the position. You cannot wait. Improve. I improve. Now you can't push the pawn. So if you come further, the pawn is lost. ऐसा कुछ दूर आ गया तो this is win. So उसको पास में रहना है. Then is pushed back. Improvement. अभी थ्रेट है. ये थ्रेट है अभी. ये तो गया. Immediately is not working. Immediately वो क्या करेगा? King support करेगा. You wait. Push. Now I have covered up all this area. I will push the black king all the way. अब ये सब कवर है. अभी किंग को ढकलेगा. ढकल दो. खदड़ दो उसको. Again. Now you come here. I will play knight. Now ये कवर हो गया. अब ये आएगा तो ये आएगा. धीरे धीरे ढकल गया. पुश करते जाए. So the advantage is this is ideally placed. Notice नाइट यहीं कहीं रहेगा. सपोज ड्रॉ. नाइट यहीं कहीं रहेगा. ऐसा कुछ रहेगा, ड्रॉ हो जाएगा. Because king will come to e6 and the position is draw. You will push the pawn right away also. But ideally placed and winning. This is very tricky. It is winning but extremely hard. So I give you time to think. Because connected pawns. तो ब्लैक चाहता है नाइट को डाइवर्ट करेगा, किंग आके ले लेगा. बट व्हाइट टू प्ले. प्लीज फाइंड आउट. Very difficult position. Honestly, I tried to solve. I made a mistake. Always I try to work out myself. Then I select the position. So I made a mistake. But actually, you have to find correct plan. Anybody has come up with answer? No. It is difficult. Take your time. Take your time. मिल गया एड्रेस, उससे पहले उससे उससे 300-400 मीटर पहले आता है। वो है ना, आप मेन रोड से आएंगे, लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में आएगा आकाश रेजिडेंसी, उससे आगे 300-400 किलोमीटर मीटर जाएंगे ना, तो आगे आएगा क्लब। ओके। आपने गलत रोड में चला गया होगा, मेन रोड आपको पूछिए। नहीं, क्लब ऑफ 7 आप सब दूसरा रोड से आ गया होगा। आप किसी को भी पूछिए आकाश रेसिडेंसी, आकाश से किसी को भी पूछिए। So the people from Sports Authority of India are coming to just see how I am doing. So I have put a banner here, so they will just see and go. Okay, I have to see and settle now. It is lot of time. So somebody has written ND4. Who is this? Uttam Dungal. And so Vishwa has written 95. This is the correct one. You have to wait, and now this is the correct one. Because you need to come. This is bad, of course. 95 is bad. So I make a wall. The pawn and knight create a barrier. And the pawns will run out. King will take care of the pawns. He will come, king, knight. The pawn is attacked. So if you come, I will support it, and the pawn is attacked, only move. And now winning the game. Just win king pawn endgame. The knight will take care of these two pawns, and the king pawn endgame. So this is the plan. Today I want to discuss some games of Akiba Rubinstein, a great player. He was great in strategy, great in end game, and his middle game and end game technique was really par excellence. A player should have become world champion. Because of the First World War, he could not become. And among the modern masters who followed him a lot is Boris Gelfand. Boris Gelfand followed the games of Akiba Rubinstein, analyzed, became very strong. Also, I want to discuss about Catalan Open. How to play about the Catalan opening, I will discuss, because many times it comes from Reti. A player can get from Reti opening, a player can get from Taras type of position. So Catalan is a thing, and knowledge is very important. Somebody called me again here. Okay, I talked to him. The sports authority people are coming, so I want to just wait for 1 minute. Why they are not getting my address? Not getting the address. Okay. Never mind. So here I will discuss Akiba Rubinstein's games. So I showed you some night end games. Let me see how many night endings left. Maybe four night end games I will do later. I will discuss some Catalan opening, Rubinstein games, and some Catalan opening. So Akiva Rubinstein was a great player, and let us have a look at some of his game. Okay, he was a self-made man. He himself studied and became great. Nobody, no teacher, nothing, but he worked very hard. As it was told in this book that when became a good player, he thought he went to the chess club and he played on was beaten badly. The weakest player in the club beat him badly. So he was so upset. He went home and studied for months together, self study. And after a few months, he came and challenged the champion itself, champion of the club. हेलो पहुंच गए आप सब? हाँ सर जरा बोलो मैं देता हूँ. हाँ मैडम ये गवर्नमेंट का स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी गवर्नमेंट का लोग है उनको आने दीजिए मिलने के लिए नो प्रॉब्लम. हाँ 1103 है 1103. हाँ जी आने दीजिए. So you can see I want to discuss game of uh, Rubinstein. Basically, he was focusing more on strategy and endgame. Normal, Queen C2, classical line. The other line is E3. Okay, 1 minute please. तो ये जो है white is better now because bishop pair. अभी हमको थोड़ा थोड़ा एडवांटेज मिलेगा then only we can win. You have to accumulate advantage. So what has happened? Double bishop. अभी this is another bad. Surrendering the center. So white has bishop pair and center. Okay, in those days, theory was not so much developed. A bad move. So I want you to understand that advantage already he has got two type advantage: central superiority, unprotected piece, and badly placed piece out of center. So वो the point is he is looking for freedom now. तो बंद करो उसको. C5 नहीं आएगा अभी. If you play C5, I will take. Now maybe here I can play pawn push and winning a pawn. So he has to play plus minus. Okay, I will take 2 minutes break. 2 minutes break I will take. ऐसा सर हाँ सर कैसे हो हेलो हेलो ले लिए बस हाँ अभी फ्लैश आने लिया ना ये इधर नहीं हो गया ये आए इधर एक रूम है बट ये कॉम्प्लेक्स है नहीं ये वन ये रूम मैंने अच्छा है टीवी ये स्पोर्ट्स स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी का बैनर लगा दिया इधर हाँ वो पीछे आया ना बैकग्राउंड यहाँ एक रूम है देखिए ये हाँ एक्चुअली आई वांट टू डिस्पोज दिस बिकॉज़ आई विल टेक बिकॉज़ बड़ा घर मेरे को मेंटेन करना साफ करना कोई आता नहीं है साफ करने को अभी अभी कोई नहीं है कोई कुछ नहीं सोसाइटी में कोई आता नहीं फ्लैट में हो कुछ नहीं है कोई नहीं आता खुद करता हूँ इसलिए मैं निकल दे भेज देने हाँ हाँ कोई है तो देखो ये कहाँ है भवेश भाई ने बताया था ये नहीं गया नहीं देखो उस साइड अंदर आ जाओ पूछ के कोई हाँ तो आपको बहुत दूर पड़ेगा हाँ वही तो आप अकेले हो कुछ जरूरत पड़ी तो कितने दूर से आने में आधा घंटा घंटा लग जाए वहाँ सिटी में हो ना तो कोई तुरंत आ जाए भावेश भाई ने लगा दिया ये जस्ट गुजरात अथॉरिटी का ही है और ये गुजरात वो पीछे आए ना ऑनलाइन ऐसा बढ़ के करता हूँ नहीं अच्छा है अभी चाय ही नहीं अभी कुछ नहीं नहीं कुछ नहीं हम तो यहाँ आए थे आ गए क्या वो ट्रेन है वो कोचन जुड़ो वाले उनके फादर एक्सपायर हो गए कोरोना था वो जो स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी का मीटिंग था मैं ऑनलाइन आया कोई कुछ नहीं आया वो परेश भाई ने बोला तो मैं ऑनलाइन था कुछ नहीं हुआ मैं रखा है रिकॉर्ड बस बस तो हमने भी आपको एपिसोड में सब वो सब्सक्राइब किया ना और जो भी इंटरव्यू करे ऑनलाइन ही है जो भी करेंगे कोई क्लास चल रहा है अभी चालू है अभी क्लास हम यहाँ आए थे सर कल बात थैंक यू वेरी मच आए थे थैंक यू वेरी मच आप अभी ये ऑफिस का है हाँ सर हाँ अभी अभी कोई किसी को पहचान नहीं सकता बात पहन के बैठा नहीं अच्छा है पर बहुत दूर है आप नजदीक वहाँ ले लो हाँ बराबर ये कितने में पड़ा था 32.5 में लिया था मैंने वही मुद्दा कर दे ये अगर है ठीक है चलो सब निकलते हैं थैंक यू वेरी मच और ये चल रहा है मैं बाद में फोन करता हूँ ओके हेलो बोलो okay I'm sorry friends so here okay so coming to this position white has already got advantage now it is once advantage comes means we should win the game अभी सेंटर है तो मेरे पास सुपीरियर बिशप है और एक्टिव पीसेस है सो he played this pawn takes pawn and establishing a queen side pawn majority अभी टेक्निकली लॉस्ट है टेक्निकली व्हाइट हैज गॉट vast superiority पास pawn निकल गया और ये थ्रेट है अभी पोजीशन इज होपलेस ये जो एक मिस्टेक होता है ना ये जो मिस्टेक होता है b6 these are bad moves and second mistake surrendering so this is not correct move अगर उसको यही खेलना था तो बिशप को देना क्यों है वो टाटा कवर खेल सकता था b7 h6 b6 now next I will go explain some of Rubinstein's games now d4 d5 knight f6 now normally a player should not do see this is way back 1930 में है 90 years back 90 years back they were not playing so aggressive So he wants to play. This is called the Cole system. The idea, I want to come to bishop t3, p3, bb2. This is Cole. It is not bad, but not aggressive system. So black should play actively here. Like the black's best move, c5. Now we should always understand the idea behind the move. Why he is playing a3? He wants to play pawn into pawn and better tempo and better development. So he played pawn takes pawn. I don't think this is correct. यहाँ तक ठीक है. The position black has played well. You should not make unnecessary capture. हमको ओपनिंग में क्या करना है? जल्दी से डेवलपमेंट, जल्दी से कैसल एंड सेंटर कंट्रोल. एंड क्या नहीं करना है? We should not make unnecessary exchange or bringing queen or rook unnecessarily into the game early. Don't move the same piece again and again. So this is unnecessary capture. What could have done? You bring knight. This. So more pieces in center. On pawn into pawn, bishop takes white. That's a black. That's a good game. If the knight is passive and this bishop is ready to castle, so b5 में कुछ नहीं होगा. Center is good for black. So he made one bad move. Now he played a bad move in the game. Pawn takes pawn. Nothing. Now white has better game. Development center. So we need to recognize the type of advantage. अभी white center better है. The bishop is looking at this point. So always we have to be alert how to make use of this idea. I want to bring the knight here into the game, covering up the square as well and coordination of the pieces, all consolidated. Now this is bad. We normally we get in such position in Sicilian defense or sometime in King's Indian defense that white castles long and attacks the black's castle king on the king side. Here, when the pieces, I mean king is placed on the opposite wing, the main thing is who will attack first. In order to attack, a player should open files, diagonals, even at the cost of some material. आपको भले pawn एक piece दे देंगे open करने के लिए. So I think black king is little more in danger than white. अभी this king is safer compared to this because white is ready to start off the action, ready to open up and bring the use the line C line. So this is a wrong judgment to castle. This was not, even though white is better after castle, but this is worse. अब ये खराब है. So he is threatening knight coming to f4. So I stop that. Now I want to open the c5. Move the queen to safer square. Now c file has been opened, and I think the rook will come to very quickly. Rook c1 will come now, and it is plus minus. The position of white pieces are more dangerous than black. Black has played without a plan. I mean, he cannot force opening, and the sacrifice will not work. You know, the sacrifice twice, queen check will come, king h1. Imagine you give a piece, or maybe you give the bishop first. I take, you take check, check, king. And now the king has no, maybe here I am making a mistake. You don't take the second piece. One piece is okay. Now don't take second piece. So I think this will now getting lot of. This is enough. So you cannot sacrifice in the game. You played in the game queen, winning the game. Now the queen is centralized and pieces are very active and mate threat is there. Immediate threat is mate. Winning. So what Rubinstein game, he was following the principles strictly. Rubinstein was following the principles of the game very strictly. Let us say I see another game, Queen Pawn only I will show you. If a player wants to his strategy, he should study Rubinstein, Akiba Rubinstein's game, and he will master the end art of endgame also. He was master of rook and pawn endgame and other endgames also. So in this particular game, let us see a strategical advantage. Okay, this is called the orthodox defense of Queen's Gambit decline. It is solid but bit passive. Already I am looking for what this point. I want to take this and later on I want to go for this pawn after bf4. So he has to support it so that he will cover up the c line. Now white will castle and strike at e4. I think this is a bad move. So far he was playing alright. Now the correct move, he should have played knight f5. This is safe. Do not make any pawn of the castle position without a reason. If you move, then it becomes a target. For example, you move like this, then this h6 is a target. You move like this, then that is a sacrificial point. So a player should not move a pawn from the castle position without a reason. To clear back rank, I can understand. There is an unforced move. You can't stop a threat, you have to move. But voluntarily should not do this. All these bad moves. His idea, next move he wants to play c5 because then I attack the center. That is why he has to support. He can't push this now, so he is supported. Okay, I understand the plan, but white is superior in center now. You can't push the pawn now. b5. And if you take the pawn, you will never get c5. This is now 1, 2, 3, 4 watching. So this is a very bad position. So you can't take that pawn and you can't push c5. So he played rook c8. Welcome to open up. Already I am watching against this. That means this is tied down. And white gets a better game. Now the point is, now if you take like this the backward c pawn, and if you take like this, there will be a passive position because white will capture the file. So he captures this. There is a problem now. He has to get out of the pin before doing anything. Only move. The backward pawn, rook is coming to a7. So it is also possible you can play b3, stopping the knight. This is also advantage to white. Because after c5, I take and the weak pawn will be there. This is not great. I take, he will take with the queen, but then I can play queen b1 or queen d2. He has a weak pawns. The knight and pawn is controlling. No. The knight and pawn controlling this. So this is also advantage. But Akiva Rubinstein played here rook c1. Plus, I don't want to give the bishop. Fantastic bishop. Maintaining an opening advantage. I will not push further than how to get a good position. When you get a good position, good plan will come. And at the end, you will get position like puzzle. After all the hard work, you get combination. Let us see some famous Rubinstein game. So he beat Alexander Alekhine. So this is played in the year 1922. Okay, normal. So this is the Grunfeld defense. Normally, the modern player go for two type of position here. They go for exchange variation. This is known as exchange variation. E4, knight into, pawn into, and he can play c5, he can castle. Either way, white gets a good game. Now, suppose you play c5, I recommend to play rook b1. This is advantage to white because the rook is going away, the bishop's line, this is bishop's line. So rook is going away, and also rook is putting pressure on this point. Now, if you take pawn into pawn and queen check, white can play queen exchange and get a good game. This is good, but I would rather keep the queen. I would rather keep the queen. Give him the pawn. White is better now because the queen is decentralized. You have a fantastic center. For example, to get the advantage, now you can play bishop to b4, not allowing him to castle. A knight here will run to bb5. Knight here, I can play bishop to b5. So white has got a good position. White can also play endgame. But other line is against Grunfeld. So after the move d5, you can also play queen b3. This is the main line. They call it Russian system. So the knights are good and queen is putting pressure. So white is better. He can take pawn into pawn, queen takes, and white has got two pawns in center and a good game. Even there is a surprise line also you can do. In this position, even queen check also getting advantage. For example, you can't play queen, you will lose a pawn. Queen exchange and one pawn gone. And you cannot play any knight move. These are bad moves because knight e5 can come. And now this is the move. Bishop d7 is the main line. So you play queen b2. Now there is a pressure. I think this is compulsory. Now better to take the center pawn. You know, this is not so good. Knight will come, bishop will come. So take the center pawn. White is better. Why? Because white has got superior center and superior development. So I recommend Russian system is safer. I think this is safe system. So this is the old line. This is called the Petrosian system. This is also very good. Petrosian had many victories with this. So other line he plays very simple castle. Now pawn into pawn. Actually another line also which deserves attention that black white can play b4. Idea, next move I will play queen b3. Why b4? Let me explain to you. Now the point is that black is indirectly putting pressure on center. For example, the queen and the bishop are watching this point. So he wants to come here and come knight here and attack the center point. The main strategy is to hit. This is the main strategy of black. He wants to come c5 and blow the center in such position. So b4 is not a bad idea. B4 is not bad. I stop. And now if you take it, I am developed. Who developed it? Probably Tony Miles. I'm not sure. Miles and many grandmasters have played it. B4 is a good line and played by many solid positional players. All right, let us go to the current game context for tempo. A small advantage for white. Piece has come out with a threat. Now, if you play knight on knight, white is clearly better. This knight has made two moves, three moves. He has achieved nothing. So, he, nothing. He has not achieved anything. It was better to play knight here. At least you get one tempo to develop. You can't give the bishop. So, white will play maybe b2. Why b2? I do not like this unpleasant thing. If you play bishop g4 will come. So I would rather play b2 and this knight is good now. No problem. Knight is free to go. But this is a way black would have played. So in the game he played knight into knight. Now c5, trying to put pressure on the center. So this is already 1, 2, d4. I don't have to worry about this point. Idea, next move, I want to come here. I want to hit and play e5. I want to bring queen, then I want to bring the rook. This is the standard plan of Grunfeld to putting pressure on the d4 point. This is the focus point. Okay, so decide now, pawn into, pawn into. Now the point is, black has to watch on this point. So it comes a6. You cannot play b5. White position is better because superior center and more active pieces. Chess strategy is based on these five elements. Five elements. Number one, king position. Number two, center. Number three, open lines. Number four, pawn structure. Number five, activity of pieces, active pieces. If you look at the king position, white is slightly better. Little. Why? Why this is better? Because compared to the king, my bishop is watching this point. My knight can come to this point. So white has got more superior position. This is also inconvenient. Inconvenient. The rook is ready in the open line. So white has got more active pieces, slightly more better center and better open lines. So the game continued. b5. I don't think. I think there was something wrong. You cannot expect. I think there is some other reason he cannot blunder like this. Oh, this is just bad. Okay, you can take it. This is not going to help because there will be no piece for attack. You can take it, but in this case, hardly any black piece can come on the pawn. You don't have time to bring the bishop to diagonal, bringing the queen. There is not so much time left. So he cannot give and a pawn down. It is just blunder. I think he has blundered. Even great players also blunder. I want to show some famous games of Rubinstein. I think this game deserves attention because he really played well. Con Rubinstein. I think Con against Con. I want to show you. Rubinstein Con is a fantastic game. A classic game. Con Rubinstein. Yeah. Really great game. This shows what class player he was. Nothing. Opening is okay. So White played correctly. White is playing correctly. So takes the pawn. Now this is not a wise decision. No, white is better. For example, here, now c4, he took the pawn. So what white should do now? If white wants to maintain the advantage, this is very simple. You keep developing. You keep developing. ये pawn कहीं भाग नहीं रहा है. Not running away. चलो, I am attacking the pawn. How black can defend? You want to play b5? You will suffer. A4. अब ये नहीं चलता है. Can't do that. So you cannot defend the pawn really. So this is a correct move. White is better in center and also more development. So this is the correct way for advantage. But theory was not so much developed. 1909 110 साल पहले इतना नहीं था. तो ये मार दिया. To get a good game without any hard work. Ready to long castle and tempo. So take that. This is bad. The player should develop, should not make weak squares, weak pawns. If the king was castled, let us say, imagine castle was done, rook 1, d1, c1. This I understand. But now the end game is coming. You should not weaken the squares and give overextended pawns are bad. Threat was there, so I defend. Now, There is no need to castle now because the king is safe in center. Good move. This will give a tempo. This will give me a tempo to seize the fight. Knight will come attacking the bishop. Now c4 bishop attack. Oh, it is not a good idea. It is better. A player should save the bishop. Modern players don't give bishop so easily. It was better to come. Idea. Okay, in this case, white will black will try to seize the square. He will bring the rook here. He will bring the rook here and try to seize the square, or he will bring the rook here. So white is better anyway, but he played simple easily. Almost same thing happened. Okay. Now he is preparing a good knight versus a bad bishop. Apart from the threat, this is a threat, right? Direct threat. Apart from the direct threat, at right time I want to give him double pawn and good knight versus the bishop is not doing anything. There is no point in such bad moves. Stay in center. So I attack. Now I want your readers to think what is so strong about this position. Please think. The position is minus plus. Only if you find the plan for black. There is the thing. Okay, I give you how much time I should give. I should give 3 minutes, 3 minute time. Evaluate and tell me the plan for black. Why black is strong and what should black do? Actually, वो सबके सामने क्या बोलते हैं? तो नाम लिखा है। मुझे बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो ये जो है अभी the king has entered can come here weak pawn and I will now by mobile seize the line also. Seize open. Otherwise counter play. So stop the fight. Now there are four things in strategy when you are conducting an strategical advantage or defending also. You need to improve your position continuously. Number one, continuous improvement of position. Number two, you must stop the counter play. That means take prophylactic moves. For example, we expect the rook is coming. So we need to do something about it. So prophylactic measure. So number three, we should be very careful about exchange of pawn or a piece, where to exchange, when to exchange, and who is benefited by exchange. So that also you have to take it down. This is the third factor. And apart from other things also, you should also make a plan and go according to the plan. Execute the plan. For example, black is better, I have stopped, so I will come. Now rook ending is lost. If you take, my rook will be active and suddenly I will start giving threat. So it takes rook into. I think this is a wrong decision. The player has exchanged the pieces only to enter a lost king pawn ending. Yeah, lost king pawn ending. Okay, let us see the race. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. But he will also come. 1, 2, 3, 4. But black has another plan that he can paralyze the pawns and have one extra tempi. अभी मैं इसको paralyze कर देगा, मेरे पास tempi रहेगा और ये pawn doubled है. So these are bad pawns. So it will lose again. अभी देखिए, let us start race. Race. He has to come. Going there. He has to come. Attack. He has to come. अब ऐसा लगता है कि गेम इक्वल हो गया. Not really. This is important that this move I stop because he will get some freedom. And then pawn f3, I stop the pawn. I have so many tempi. This is nothing to worry. I have got so many moves to have tempi. Tempi means move in reserve. The position is zugzwang. The position is now hopelessly lost. Of king h1. He has to wait. He cannot leave the pawn. He has to wait. Now I have got this backward pawn and I have a tempi. So slowly and steadily. Now I will bring a break. I will bring the plan is to make a pawn break here. So the king will come and sweep everything. I need a pawn break on g3. That is the strategy. Push. He has to wait. Nothing else. Pawn h5. He has to wait. Now if he takes the pawn, he is paralyzed. I will achieve what I want. So he comes. Suppose you play pawn into pawn, takes, and now pawn push, and I get the g3 break. Take, and now winning the game. You will run into zugzwang because the king will sweep. अब ये pawn तो देना पड़ेगा, ये pawn आपको आएगा, तो मैं मार के I will just come quickly and sweep. मेरे पास pawn भी है, एक और है, तो ये नहीं चलता है. So the g3 break and he loses, so he can't take that pawn. So here he plays. No. I will play. He played pawn push. And now g3 break, h4 and g3 break. Black king is more aggressive and winning all the pawns. So this is what happened. Okay, what are the mistakes? Let us say he does not do this end game. Now I will go to the line. First of all, he should not exchange that. He should not exchange that. So he made this, and this is another mistake. At least rook ending has some hope of draw. For example, what he could have done here, pawn. But even then it is not easy. The position black stands little better because of active rook. What black can do now? Black will try for the g5. Okay, I leave this and some more games of next time. I will take you to Catalan opening also now. Let us see from Rubinstein's game. Discussion of Catalan. E0, 4 to E0, 8 is Catalan. We should know the code so that it is easier to search E04 to E08 is Catalan. I think he has not played Catalan. So I will take you to another master. Let me take you from World Champions file. I have made a file of winning games of all world champions. So go to E04 to E05. Okay. So here we come. I give Arpo, Van Valley, Anderson, Kasparov Anderson. Let us see Kasparov Anderson and Kasparov's 2-3 games. So it is easier to find the correct strategy. This is called the Catalan. When the d4 d5 structure, white makes fianchetto, that is called the Catalan. Fianchetto, I hope you understand. This is called the fianchetto. What is the correct plan for black? What black should achieve in Catalan? Normally, white players like Catalan because black experiences difficulty in developing the minor pieces. These are the problems. ब्लैक का प्रॉब्लम है कि कैटालान में ब्लैक को माइनर पीसेस क्वीन साइड का डेवलपमेंट का प्रॉब्लम अच्छा जगह में नहीं देता. So black's plan should be to exchange this sorry exchange this pawn and exchange this pawn if possible by the break and develop the pieces. If black can free this game and develop equality. So let us see who by now takes up. That is nothing wrong. So knight f. Idea. Now I can go queen a4 and take the pawn. Idea. Knight e5 and I can recover the pawn. Here there are basically two plans. One, he can try to hang on to the pawn. That is bad. Two, black will try to attack the center right. So he can hang on to the pawn. For example, now this is move. He can come here, which is bad. Too slow, and anyway I will take because queen check is there. So playing c6 is very passive. Yeah, idea b5. These are bad moves. Many strong players have collapsed trying to defend the black side. So this is not a good idea. You cannot ignore development. For example, I can go right away. अभी आप नहीं खेल सकते तो pawn चला जाए. So b6, c6 is bad move. Interesting move. You can play knight. This is an interesting idea. I don't allow the knight. This is one possibility. But this will allow that I will get good center. I will play castle, knight c3, e4. White will have center in return for the material. And if I want the pawn, I can force to winning the pawn. I can anyway win. I can play anyway this. So not a good move. So here Anderson played c. Active move. Castle. Now if you play pawn into pawn, now I will get an advantage. Queen takes pawn. And now I am giving a threat. White will get a good game now. You can't play b5 because the pressure on the diagonal. White will have lead in development and better game. For example, you have to play a6. Now, how are you going to stop that? What are you going to do about knight into c4? I think bishop c5 is coming. So it is not correct move. Maybe here the correct move is to play. I should prepare vacate the square for rook quickly. rd1 now. Now this is a good position. So this is interesting idea. So in the game, this is not a good idea to play exchanging pawns unnecessarily. I welcome to take him knight into pawn. I welcome. Knight on knight is bad. These are bad moves because after this the knight is attacked and the pawn will fall anyway. I will show you the game. One game I will show you between Alexander Pomini and black is Filippo. Pomini versus Filippo, and the game was annotated by Alexander Kalikman. So authentic annotation. After seeing that game, I was so much convinced and impressed that I repeated that idea in one of the national premier game against a grandmaster. I beat him. 2001, I beat him. So I will show you that game between Fomini and Filippo. So this is bad to play this. So in the game when he played knight e5, he took bd7. No hurry. I want to come and take knight into pawn. I don't want this. The knight in center. I want the development and this knight in here. Good. I will recover my pawn anyway. He cannot defend because after knight into e5, the b7 will come under pressure. White gets better. White center is superior, and now black experiencing difficulty in development. check, only move. Otherwise, you end up with weaknesses. Now you have a problem how to develop the bishop because queen is watching the g7 square. The queen is watching the g7 square. You will never get time. Now rook d1 will come. Plus minus. There are so many weak points. I told you 5 strategic points. Now center, open line and activity of pieces. White is clearly superior. No doubt who has the center. No doubt who is better in open position, open lines and active pieces. There are target and the diagonal में problem, file में problem, square में problem. So idea, you castle, you lose material. If you castle, knight d6 will come. So you know this is already I am watching the point. So castle means nd6. Suppose you castle nd6. Now यहाँ पे attack, यहाँ पे attack. मारा तो check और एक तो गया. So pawn down. So you cannot castle. तो अभी ये आया. रुक ये आया. This is bad. This is bad. He wants to get a room for king and do something. Well, white is just bringing pieces logical. You don't have to struggle in a good position. Make a good move only. इतना deep जाना जरूरी नहीं. Why Fisher was the greatest? He was finding a good move in any position. So this is just a good move. Rook against queen development completed. Take. You cannot take with the queen. So forced. Plus minus. एक pawn तो गया. Tactics flows from good positions. Pawn down, bad position. Lost. I will tell you, I will show you that game. I will forget. Otherwise, Alexander Kalipman has annotated that. Just a minute. Where is my file? I know. Omini is white and Filippo is black. H नहीं क्या बात F है Filippo F है not P P है मैं P में देख रहा हूँ F है yeah this is annotated by Khalifa. Notice this game, a lovely game. It will help you in tournament. Slav knight F3 is the correct. The point is knight C3 is a good move, but you have to be ready for E5. अभी आप मारेंगे ये मारेंगे ये आ जाएंगे. तो नाइट आएंगे तो क्वीन चेक आएगा. ये पॉन तो गई. Bishop d2, I will play queen into pawn. And if you play nd2, I am not going to take queen into pawn. ये तो पिन में रखा है तो उसको सड़ने दो उधर. नाइट से मारेगा मैं. This is bad for him. So nc3 में आपको ध्यान रखना चाहिए how to play. You know, you should be very careful about e5. nc3 में e5 आ जाता है और ये मारा तो बात एक ही बात है यही आएगा. और I will take queen check and pick up. So the standard move knight f3 आता है. So आया. अभी I did not worry about this. So I will play g3 bg2 castle. मारा. I don't worry. You are welcome to defend. You may defend. I don't care. Cool. अभी white has got a better game on 2 points. Already I am castled. The pressure on the long diagonal, this point, the center, knight is watching center, pawn, the center control, and ready-made target. Abhi I want the rook here and a4 आएगा. The pressure will mount. Already a position is good, so it is easy to find plan. I want him to push. एक बार वो पुश कर दिया तो इसका जवाबदारी कौन? मैं तो निकल जाऊंगा अभी. Then who will defend this pawn? ये आएगा नाइट आएगा क्वीन आएगा, ये तो गया, ये जाएगा, डबल अटैक में जाएगा. सो ही कैनॉट डिपेंड. एक बार पुश कर दिया तो आया. I challenge him to play the end game. You see, now I'm challenging knight into knight, pawn into, queen into queen, rook into, rook into. This is good. Why? अभी मेरे पास दो थ्रेट है. ये pawn into pawn, pawn into pawn, rook into, और ये मार दे. This is one threat. Okay. And the other threat is just I will come sub g5 and double the rook. I will not allow him to develop easily. So he comes here. He is not a good at the end game. So he can pawn into, pawn into, rook into, knight into. So I recover the pawn. Now अब तो गया ये. अभी there is no time for मेट हो जाएगा. ये खाएगा तो मेट हो जाएगा. बिशप चेक में क्वीन चेक आएगा, बिशप f4 बेट हो जाएगा. So he has to come. Now do not play passively. This is rule number 1. When you get a good position, do not play passively. Passive position करेंगे तो counter attack आएगा. Like what is a passive position? अभी I will defend. This is passive mode. तो वापस आएगा, तो हम वापस डिफेंड करेंगे. ऐसा नहीं करना है. And if you play f4, you will give him tempos. So tempos, diagonal problem. So ignore and playing active. I want to open the line. I want to play pawn into pawn and queen check. So bring in the rook quickly. Tempo. I come back. Now, okay, this position he played in the game. No, this did not happen. This did not happen in the game. In the actual game, this did not happen. In the actual game, he played NGF6. Why does not recover the opponent better game? Already better. Very well played. अभी B5 pawn तो गया. So white is up in material and won the game. So ये जो लाइन है कि you do not worry that opponent will take pawn and survive. So let us see some more Catalan games. No, not on this. Yeah. So Catalan, knight f3. Now black is preparing to defend the pawn. So b5. So b5 is coming, so stop that. Knight e5 is not so good now. I recover my pawn. White stands better. Strategically, he has already superior king position, superior center, and more active pieces. Okay. The point is, what is wrong with the position? Passive knight. Redundant. This is called a redundant knight. Then this is also poorly placed. And this is subject to pressure. So white has better. Achha, 1 second. I'll have to put that battery. Give me 1 minute. Okay. So white has got a superior position. So we opening we cannot get winning position. Only getting a good position and good plan will come. Now, knight. You have to come out of opening first. Knight. Bishop into bishop. And now, there is, tactically, I will get a tempo anytime on the rook. Rook is a very terrible place. अभी उसको rook के लिए bishop move करो, pawn move करो. This is not coming in the game. And any moment I get a tempo. So white is plus minus. Oh, acha, this is bad. Why this is bad? We should always know that in this position, what I should do, my rook should come here and bishop should come here. You will have problem. पहला bishop आ जा. अभी हिलता नहीं, अभी bishop आएगा तो rook आ जा. This is already problems. Already he is facing problem because I will take it bishop into knight और इसको target बना देगा. So already he is feeling the heat. तो उसको टाइम नहीं है वो मूव करने के लिए. सो ही प्लेस क्विकली क्वीन गोइंग अवे फ्रॉम द लाइन. यू डोंट हैव टाइम फॉर रूक b8. अभी उसका प्लान क्या है? वी शुड नो व्हाट ही वांट्स. फ्रीडम. नो फ्रीडम अलाउड. सेंटर प्लस माइनस c7 डबल अटैक. We should notice the threat now. Now I want to seize the square. Queen and knight going after this square. After the move knight into knight, I can play some e5 directly. Forced. And game is over. All over. The bishop is in trouble now. Trap ho gaya. Bishop has no good square. Because if you play bishop, then knight c6 is coming. Bishop, so it is lost. Plus minus. So you can see where is the mistake of black. Okay, I will tell you. Now this position, this is, first of all, you taking the pawn is not a crime. When you take on the fourth move, e04. When you after this, you take e05 or e06. So a player should not take premature. Now you play this. This is better. You come here, then I can castle. You castle, I take. Now you come here, I can play knight. Because I want to put pressure on the pawn. Abhi, black can take a pawn. I mean, white can take a pawn, but black has active play. For example, I just give an example. Bishop takes knight. I take. Knight takes pawn. I will attack. Knight into bishop. Now queen and 4. Now, white is going to win this pawn for sure. And white will have a pawn. But there is some defect in the position. What is that? White will have a pawn up, but at what price? The price is bad king position, weak squares. तो मुझे उसका फायदा उठाना है, नहीं तो मैं pawn भी डाउन रहेगा और हार जाएगा. तो what black should do? हम सोचेंगे कि बिशप रखेंगे. No, it is not correct. Not correct. Very slow, it is bad. So the correct move, play actively. Active. तो आप मारोगे, तो मैं मारा, अभी आप मारो. Now, this is not great moves. You come down. अभी compare the position कि मेरा रूक्स आर कोऑर्डिनेटर, मेरा पीसेस सेंटर में है, ये सब सुंदर है, क्या है? अभी इतना वीकनेस है. द किंग इज अ टारगेट, वीक स्क्वायर्स. अभी डेवलपमेंट हुआ ही नहीं है. मेरा प्लान है क्वीन आएगा और नाइट आएगा, ये सब स्क्वायर एक्टिव क्वीन और रूक्स आर एक्टिव. पहले पॉन को तो बचाओ. फर्स्ट टू डिफेंड द पॉन. दिस इज अ गेम. हु प्लेड इट? अलेक्जेंडर ग्रिस्चो प्लेड दिस एक्टिव मूव. तो हमको ध्यान रखना चाहिए. अभी फॉर एग्जांपल, let us have a look at this Grishchuk's game. Idea sacrificing the pawn. Let's have a look at it. I hope it is there. है, बहुत सारी गेम. Alexander Grishchuk is black and white is Malako. Is a very strong GM. 2700 player. Malako is a very strong player. So he played bishop into pawn into. better tempo. अभी आप यहाँ कहाँ जाएंगे? The other move is to go to a bad square. This is bad. You are going away from center. So straight. Now of course I am a pawn down. I will keep the queen. Queen h5 जाएगा. The obvious threat आप देख रहे हैं. There is no need to explain. You are experienced players. Hg4 is serious threat. तो hg4 को बंद करो. अभी थ्रेट रूक e8 आएगा और ये पॉन चला जाएगा. बचाया थ्रेट. Of course I will not exchange. Now it is an easy win now because the point is the back rank. One weakness goes, another weakness has come. अभी थ्रेट तो बचाना पड़ेगा ना. So you cannot play pawn e4. बढ़ जाएगा रूक. Yeah. तो weakness back rank खत्म. अभी मार तो नहीं सकता है. बिशप इंटू पॉन. नाइट से मारेगा तो रूक चेक. रूक से मारेगा तो रूक इंटू का झटका आएगा. तो डेवलप किया. ये भी मार दिया. अभी रूक को एंट्री, नाइट को एंट्री. इफ रूक इंटू पॉन, नाइट g4 खत्म खत्म. तो ये जो है इट इज फुल्ली प्लेबल. I mean this is a very old line. Knight c6 1990 भागानिया. व्लादिमीरो भागानिया. अभी मुझे पॉन आई डोंट वांट. एक्चुअली इट इज नॉट गुड टू गिव दिस बिशप, बट उसको तकलीफ होने तो ये पॉन रिकवर करने. सो ही गिव दिस एक्स्ट्रा पॉन ऑन द बोर्ड. White black has an extra pawn and that's the pass pawn. चलो threat है. So nc2 is coming and knight c3 and queen d4 is coming. So only I want to secure the knight and better. Active pieces of black. Rook will come to d and d4. Pawn c3 is coming. तो माइनस प्लस क्योंकि ये रूक का अटैक है अभी. एंड नाउ रूक b2 is coming. So the position is already bad. अभी if you want to take the pawn you have to concede the bishop. Then what about the king? किंग का जवाबदार कौन होगा? ये मारने के बाद क्वीन f3 आ जाएगा. ये तो अभी गया गेम लॉस्ट. So you can see that this is a possibility you should not regret. लेकिन अभी ये मॉडर्न प्लेयर्स है ना, ये ऐसा नहीं खेलते. What they do I will show you. मॉडर्न प्लेयर्स यहाँ पर ये आते हैं. अभी मारा yeah, they play this sort of, they play c5 because this there is I don't know the latest improvement in the line. अभी they try to dissolve that bad playing c. This is the modern trend now. And not alone, his plan is to come here. तो आने नहीं दे. इसको पर प्लस है. माइनस प्लस. So I will take you to some more games of Catalan. I am giving you ideas. Yes, sir. The point is I am freeing my game. Knight into rook here. I free my game. I told you in the beginning, if black can manage to dissolve these two pawns, if black can manage, अब ये मारना है और ये c5 आ गया तो freedom, development complete. That is what precisely Karpov did. मार दिया. बिशप आया तो लिया तो मारा आ गया. तो black has completed development and black has freed his queen side. So game is already little better for black because white has not achieved development. पीछे plus center. Why black has comparatively better center. ये कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. नाइट पीछे जाओ पीछे प्लस. I will not go further. Only the opening part I am discussing. Now, I want to discuss game White Kramnik and Black is Akadi Nadis. So we reached a Catalan position. So Black is trying to block the diagonal and White is better. Center. Badly placed knight. White has got the better. David Navarra, very strong grandmaster from Georgia. So he is a Catalan by transposition. No problem. Yes, you should not take. These are bad moves. Bad moves. Then you will have problem of developing your knight. It will a file open up castle. Now he is at a crossroad. अभी मैं बिशप बचा लेगा ये फोर या बिशप then this is a waste of time और मारा तो डेवलपमेंट बचा लिया. If you take it more development, I think it was better. Black should now go safe. White is better, but this is he is trying to force matters. The pawn is in trouble. अगर c6 खेलेंगे तो ये बहुत passive पोजीशन है क्योंकि अभी ये नाइट निकलेगा नहीं. एक बात है ये अभी passive हो गया ये बैड हो गया. So two bad pieces और ये pawn जरूरी नहीं है he will defend the pawn. This is bad move. So he played in the game pawn takes. White stands better, better center and better structure. Tempo plus. Now I will take the bishop, two bishop advantage in open position and rook c1 will come. Now c7, all this is in pressure. The knight d5 in pin plus minus. This position is plus minus. Now I will get the c5 pawn, the pressure on d5. This is bad position. So Kasparov Anderson, some more game. Why it is only one game is there? Okay, it is an e05. That is why I am not getting. 1 minute. E05, E06. Yeah, this is the game. So this is basically Anthony Miles used this idea for white because many times now if you play nc3 he will take pawn into pawn and try to defend. King has castled already, so he will try to defend the pawn. So white plays queen c2, not taking a chance black will take and defend. And anyway, I have to develop the queen. So this is good move. Better push. This is actually not the best move. The better move was to play n d5, attacking the bishop, and now you push the bishop back. This is little better for white. But what he played, I think, is comparatively inferior. No, 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 no. Yeah. Normally, white allows this. White allows this because the g file and center, and the double pawn he will have e3. So there is no problem about the weakness. This structure is superior. Now I have a better bishop compared to the black's inferior bishop. I have g file and fantastic center. Now, this pawn is okay. The structure, I think the white mobility and center is better. See, I don't have to worry about d5 so strong. The idea later on I will move the king and use the g9. King castle long was risky. You cannot take that. That will open up the D file and also pressure. Unfortunately, he cannot develop. You can't do this. These are all weak moves. Then C5 will be secured. He tries to keep it closed. Plus, white has a lot of maneuvering room, and the B5 break will open up A file and the pressure on the B line and the diagonal. White has secured a good position. E05, E06 will get lot of games. Tal versus Dano. This is a passive approach. Now E5 pawn is very difficult to handle. Plus, now rook attack, you have to take the B6 knight first. Now I told you the end game is problem. File will in my hand, D6 square. After the exchange, ND6 will put pressure on B7. Now this is bad. If you play when rook into, now this is very unpleasant. The bishop is too powerful. And if you play king e7, supposing ये आएगा, ये bad है, ये आएगा, then there is more problem. Mounting the problem, I can play bf4 also. So exchanging queen will not solve, but he goes for a faulty combination. Faulty combination. I don't know. He plays queen check. Okay, e5 plus minus. B. The whole point is he recovered the piece, but at what price? At what price? If we play central pass pawn is ready, I am more active. अगर ये मारेंगे तो मेरा अभी सेंट पास पान है, कैसल करेगा तो किंग इज नॉट इन एक्शन. आई हैव मोर एक्टिव पीसेस. इसका प्रॉब्लम है, ये रुक नहीं आएगा, ये आ जाएगा अभी. सो लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम है, चेक आ रहा है. सो दिस इज बैड. सो द कॉम्बिनेशन एक्चुअली मटेरियल इज ओके, बट इट इज अ बैड पोजिशन. Trying to attack. This is unsound plan with king in center, no coordination. You cannot capture on e file, rook e1 आ जाएगा. Plus, the game is winning completely. So getting opening advantage that the player should not open up quickly. Let's see some other game I will show. It was a very important game for Karpov, the best tournament of his life. Where Kasparov was there, Anand was there, all top players of the world. And he won the tournament with a clear 1 point lead. With a 3,100 rating performance. 3,100 rating performance. With against such strong opposition. Now this is the standard plan to dissolve and play c5. If black manages to play c5 freedom, then he is equal. If he manages this one. So I don't want to do right away. Quintex pawn will b5, bb7 आएगा. ये he will get his object. ये करेंगे ना, वो b5 आएगा. तो हम हटेंगे, वो bb7 आएगा. White is not getting any big advantage. For example, now he wants to play move like c5. तो अभी वो नाइट आके आएगा, तो मैं बिशप को खेल देगा पहले से ही, क्योंकि नाइट आएगा तो मैं बिशप आ जाएगा. अभी ये नहीं चलेगा, अभी रुक आ रहा है मेरा. Already he is having hit. So in this position, it is possible he will play rook here, so that he can play bishop e4 to give an extra support and try to get a freedom. But this is all passive piece, not good. So हमको क्यों अलाउ करना है b5, a4 खेलो. White is better. ये क्यों खेल रहा है, अगर ये खेलेगा ना तो उसका पीछा नहीं छोड़ने वाला वैसे. So I will go here means again वो छोड़ेगा ही नहीं. Sorry, बिशप आएगा, बिशप इधर ही आएगा. इसीलिए इसीलिए वो क्या करता है इधर, he plays queen. And now if you play now bishop here, I am going to play now queen d2 and c3. So he plays white is better now because white has now bishop pair and active pieces. अब ये तो जाएगा, ये प्रॉब्लम में है, क्वीन प्रॉब्लम में है ऑलरेडी. जाओ मूव द क्वीन. There is no rush. Grandmaster plays very coolly. He is giving a threat. What threat he is giving is this threat, positional threat. Queen exchange के बाद 97 है, and if you play pawn into it, is just a bad hand. Threat, discover attack, move, plus minus. अभी नाइट को अच्छा जगह नहीं है और नाइट F5 आएगा क्योंकि इसको सपोर्ट आ गया, इसको अभी सपोर्ट आ गया, इसको दो. चलो. And actually he run out of time already. The position is bad. अभी नाइट को बचाएगा कौन? अभी ये नाइट को कौन बचाएगा? So if you play in this position queen here, it is bad. You play pawn push, also bad. अब ये मर रहा है, पहला तो मैं ये मार देगा, पहला ये बिशप मार देगा, then I will take plus minus. So the whole point is, it is not that easy. Catalan में बहुत प्रॉब्लम आता है. I recommend players to follow Wojtkovic, the great player who had a tremendous success with Catalan as white. Wojtkovic. E05. Let us discuss the opening part. White is better. Now you cannot give me the bishop. This is just bad position. So that knight into bishop is knight is coming. Take it and give him weak pawns. Now compare white's pieces. This bishop has power against this, a weak pawn, and now not so active queen. Idea b4 threat. Idea rook d3 will come now next. Plus minus. So I will discuss about Catalan in the afternoon session. I will go for some tactical motifs, and I will discuss how to handle the center counter Scandinavian as white. One by one through 2-3 lines I will take, and I will also discuss Catalan more lines today in the afternoon session. Thank you very much, friends, being with me. Sabkamara namaskar. Take care. Bye.